on mode they head. It's a great start from Zina Fry in the middle of your shot, the #1 bike. Sevilla Blanc on the 18 going well. But it's Puck Peterson alongside her as they head up the hill for the first time.
Oh, bad start for Alessandra Keller in the middle, and Madigan Monroe going back. But on the outside,
couple of options.
Stiga coming through at speed.
Couple of options up this first climb, and Ollie, they have tweaked things here in Leogang from what we're used to seeing, but it's a fast start from Sevilla Blanc for the Decathlon Ford out in front.
And Puck Peterson as well. Rizved's coming up through. But the rider who lost out, Alessandra Keller, way back. She's fighting her way back through, but probably 15th on that left line.
Yeah, Keller having to work hard, slots in behind Rebecca Henderson. So they have modified this climb. Oh, no, they're down at the front. There's a crash at the front.
Rizved's taking out Sevilla Blanc.
Sevilla Blanc down on the floor. Puck Peterson does well not to collect her. Can't get back over to the bike, and this is absolute carnage. We're going to have to see that one again. Ollie, what was your read on it?
Oh, Sevilla Blanc had the line, and Rizved's came up the inside, lent into her. Whoa, I have to have another look at that one again, but that looked a bit cheeky.
Yeah, as they head up the man-made rock section, and it's
from first to last.
Blanc.
That came out of nowhere as well.
Tears the race number off.
Zina Fry now.
Zina Fry at the top of this climb. Ollie, we talked about her. Puck looked like she's struggling slightly.
That's a surprise for me to see Puck. She took the lead at the bottom, and I thought we were going to see a really fast-paced lap from Peterson, but she just seems to be struggling, and it's Fry now who's setting the tone.
You know, obviously, a lot more about the sport of cross-country racing than I do, but I did think it was interesting. There's Blanc back up to 28th now.
Whoa.
It seems to be a thing that is cropping up a bit now in cross-country racing, of chains refusing to stay on bikes. What's going on there?
Yeah, and I think, I mean, obviously we've had pretty bad conditions. The first racing career was really bad, really heavy on the bikes, especially the drive chain, and followed up by this race as well. And
of being able to just accelerate on the smallest of descents and then put another effort in on the climb that follows them and build little gaps like this. It's not necessarily one big attack.
100%. She likes to ride on her own, pick her own rhythm, and that worked really successfully at the end of last year.
Jenny Rizvid crosses the start line then. At the end of the start loop, heads out onto the first lap. Look at the effort Peterson's having to put in to keep up with Zina Fry.
So good recovery by Puck. Peterson just coming through. There was a decent gap, and she looked like she was struggling on that first climb on the lap, but managed to turn it around pretty quickly. You see the conditions just after the gravel.
For that first lap incident, what we're going to see now is this Zina Fry in trouble in the woods.
Ah, there you go.
That is how Jenny Rizvid's got past Fry and built the gap, and Fry did very, very well there to not have a bigger crash and lose more time, actually, Ollie.
Yeah, she only lost 8 seconds in that instance, so pretty on and off, pretty sharpish, but on the back foot now. But you see how techy these descents are, and as the race gets on, as the fatigue builds up, those descents are going to get even more difficult to ride.
Great to see cross-country riders getting their heads around fork-mounted mud guards. And none of these like inner tubes hung off the front of the forks and neoprene stuff, and just get a mud guard on there, it's fine.
No, it's amazing how most of the riders aren't running that.
Yeah.
I think it's a no-brainer in my book. You see Alessandra Keller employing that tactic.
Especially whenever all the talk, a lot of talk in both cross-country and downhill this week has been around riders struggling for vision.
Yeah.
So this is the graphic telling us gains and losses through that climb. Jenny Rizvid's really, really strong up it, as you can see. It's actually, Zina Fry in second place. So I wonder if Puck's had a bit of an issue somewhere, because she's still on our timing screens in the booth as being in second place. We'll see if we can get a visual on her. No, I'm not seeing. Oh, yeah, there she is.
With Collar just moving. So Collar's had a good climb. You just see the physicality of that descent. How much you have to use the upper body to absorb it. Obviously, the suspension does a job to a point, but
I mean, that sector there, Ollie, I don't fancy riding that on a hardtail this afternoon.
No, and this second one as well. You're just trying, this is where Zina Fry had a slap off, and you're just trying to get into that little rut on the right side. And if you get the wrong side, just like I said about the ruts.
Down and off the bike at the bottom of that really rutted roll-in, has to remount. Puck Peterson again, forced to take evasive measures. Second time in the race, Fry's been off the bike and just struggling to get back on now. Is everything okay there? We'll have to see that again to see if we can get a look at the crash itself, but it seems to be moving all right on the bike.
bit more resistance, but more security and grip. And
I mean, Ollie, when the weather's like today, look, you can see how much wet mud has been pulled onto those rocks. Neither a dry tire nor a mud tire is working on those. The mud tire will be given the advantages in the woods, but
there's those couple of sections in the woods where we see Sina Fry crash twice now. That's full mud in there. You need a proper mud tire.
There's your race leader, Jenny Rissveds, then 25 seconds to the good, but Puck Peterson looking like she's having a good go at reining her back in.
Yeah, but that 24 seconds now, that gap, and it's going out.
Look at the Cole Kohler. Right with Peterson, looking really strong. Sina Fry needs to just steady the ship here. I mean, I say that, it's a bit more complicated than that. And you see Kohler, oh, big bit of understeer halfway down that rut. Thought was about to go very wrong. Keller over the rider's left-hand side, and then Puck Peterson, oh, in all kinds of shapes down there, Ollie.
But visible difference there. But see, Jenny Rissveds, 2-3 seconds she took out of that group just in that one section.
What we're going to see here.
Oh, Puck coming in hot.
Puck, yeah, just losing the bike. Keller sneaks through. Peterson didn't lose too much time there, but that will have disrupted her momentum.
As the race is going on, these deep ruts appearing. And
there's a crash we're hearing for Sina Fry. Yeah, passenger mode engaged off the side of the bike for the third time in this race. The woman who leads the overall title.
Fry having some issues on the technical section. Stiga looking like it's more of an overall, leg situation. Not having a great short track, so hopefully she hasn't picked up some sort of illness or injury during the week.
It can be a tough one, I think, the Lyra Stiga. Racing at home can be a bit of a poison chalice as well, can't you? Look at the dry spots on the grips and the brake levers and the Cole Kohler's Lapierre, where the hands have been and the mud hasn't managed to penetrate. But yeah, racing at home can come with some pressure, can't it?
Yeah, 100%. But
there's your race leader on the right-hand side of your screen.
Rissved's a nice situation. She can look back. She's got a healthy gap, but there she can just look over and have a really good set of where she is. And she's riding so smooth. She's taking seconds. We saw on the climb stats over 2 laps, taking 3 seconds out of that group. But on the last descent, the rutted descent, taking a few seconds out there as well. And I think she's just riding super efficiently on everything, climbs and descents. Nothing flash, but just taking a couple of seconds here and there.
We've seen her do it, didn't we? Certainly the second half of last season. This was kind of it wasn't the Pauline Ferrand-Prévot one big long attack so much as death by 1,000 cuts. Really, I mean, we always say it, don't we? A mud race just throws it all out the window.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get more crashes. You're going to have more ups and downs. The other thing as well, with this hillier circuit, if you make a mistake or you mispace things, you just grind to a halt. There's some races where you can have a bad lap and you might only lose 10, 15 seconds on a flatter dry lap, but on this circuit, you're just going to, minutes will disappear.
And it is getting warmer out there. It is getting sunnier, and that's going to bake little patches drier, but in the woods where it really counts.
The way that Sevilla Blanc's riding, it's not impossible.
Huge day here in Leogang. Elite men's race to come after this on a really, really hard to read track. If you were getting ready for a race now, what tires would you be putting on?
Again, it's getting sticky, but I think there comes a point, if the sun keeps shining, they'll get a point when actually the mud gets sticky, goes from wet to sticky, and actually an intermediate tire works completely fine on the back and maybe some knobbles on the front.
As Elias Russo rings the bell for the final lap here in Leogang. Jenny Rissveds. It's now back out to over a minute. So Rissveds has responded in those descents. And she's in the lead by 1 minute and 2 seconds ahead of Puck Peterson. As we head on to the final lap here in Leogang.
Yeah, Rissveds is really strong in the second half of this lap. Pulls 7 seconds back out of Puck.
Yeah, Rissveds has shut that one down. Was she been getting information from the side of the course, you think, Ollie, that Puck's coming, best cover it off?
I think Jenny Rissveds is just in the zone. She's just consistent laps. a 14, 18, 14, 30, 40, 45, and that just shows the conditions. I don't think she's necessarily getting slower. The conditions are forcing the riders to be slow around this lap, getting a little stickier under the mud.
Well, let's get a total on that gap as Puck Petersen crosses the line. So it's a minute dead now, so she's found 2 seconds on Rissveds. Alessandra Keller, 1 minute 7, by no means out of this one, Keller. Look at that. Fastest rider per lap. It's been all Rissveds. And although we've talked about the fight back from Puck Petersen, we talked about the first lap incident with Sevilla Blanc. Rissveds has been great today, Ollie.
But the consistency, fastest rider on every lap, piecing together, and it's the overall package on the climbs, on the technical sections, seconds here, seconds there, getting the bike right, getting the mud tyres.
Heads out into the sunshine. We weren't sure an hour and 25 minutes ago if we would see sunshine today. But we've not only seen sunshine, we've seen something truly special from this woman on your screen now, the world champion, Jenny Rissveds. The smile spreads across her face. Normal service has been resumed. Jenny Rissveds takes the win in Leogang with an absolutely towering performance amidst the mud in Austria. Huge ride, Ollie.
Yeah, and from the third corner, again, similar to a race at the end of last year, super dominant. And I think the word I'd describe it was efficient.
Her 8th UCI cross-country Olympic win, now just one behind Pauline Ferrand-Prévot. Not a bad name to be in the same bracket as, but a word on this woman. Puck Petersen has been absolutely superb, especially in the second half of this race. 32 seconds. She lost it in the descents, really, didn't she?
Yeah, strong on the climbs, but a really mature ride from Puck here and has finished strong.
Yeah. Puck Petersen loves racing her mountain bike, loves being challenged, and has loved that performance out there today, as have the fans. Great to have Puck on the mountain bike any chance we get to see her race. And she really put the hurt on that woman, Alessandra Keller, from the halfway point in this race. Keller kept fighting, getting back to her very best. She knows it, Ollie, as well.
Happy with that performance. Backing up her third position in the short track with a third in the cross country.
Puck Petersen with her 13th career podium in elite cross country Olympic UCI World Cup racing. Rissveds taking water on. There's Sevilla Blanc with a top 5 and one of the statement rides.
We saw a little bit of an incident there in the first lap with Sevilla Blanc. Is there any chance you could talk us through what happened there from your perspective?
I think it was just tight racing. It was really tight in the start, and I was coming on the left, and she closed my line, and either I would have crashed there, or she would have crashed, and unfortunately she crashed, and I hope she's okay.
Back to her very best here today, though. Jenny Rissveds rode her luck with that contact with Sevilla Blanc on the opening lap, but then rode away from everyone else thereafter. The officials under the microscope, the UCI commissaires here today. It's been a busy day for them. Rissveds takes the win in Leogang ahead of Puck Petersen and Alessandra Keller. Rissveds from Petersen, from Keller, your top 3, then Kohler, Blanc, Berta, Gibson, Monroe, Fry, Mitterval in the top 10, covered by 4 minutes 34 seconds. Fry, Steger, second and third in the overall now. Rissveds leads the way by 80 points. Let's hear from Puck Petersen. She's down there now.